You know, funny little story. One of my favorite video games ever is Red Dead Redemption 2. I always thought it was a magnificent game. It was the prequel to an otherwise rather underrated game, Red Dead Redemption 1. The Red Dead Redemption universe always has and will be a respectable and investing storyline. However, this carefully crafted universe would not have its chance to shine until roughly how many years now? Is it 9? I don't even know. When was Red Dead Redemption out? However, it finally got the attention it rightfully deserved not too long ago. I'd say about 4 years. But unfortunately, all good things come to an end. Now, we can't talk about Red Dead until we get into the setting. It's a Western setting, okay? Everybody loves a rootin' tootin' inbred cowboy who shoots first and thinks later. But there's a surprising gap in the market for properly respected and beloved Westerns. Hell, the last time I've even seen anything big that resembled Westerns was cowgirl style videos on fucking Pornhub. Okay? That's a different type of back shooting they're doing there. However, despite its less popular setting, Red Dead Redemption 2 rose above just being a typical Western. The story, I mean, Red Dead Redemption 2 follows our rugged and flawed protagonist Arthur Morgan, who looks just as drop dead stunning as the game looks. I mean, fucking look at him. Tell me you wouldn't want to go riding on this fucking man. But anyways, that's a stud muffin in any way, shape, or form. It's not about who and why outsmash in the game. It's about when and where when it comes to them. But jokes aside, Arthur Morgan is what makes the game. Hands down. He is the main course and all else is filler and dessert. Arthur's journey begins from a rough and dark start. A man who only cares about money and a dream. A plan, if you will. He's a dangerous man who hurts others and is most certainly out to hurt more, one snake tonic at a time. But although that character seems one dimensional, and don't get me wrong, certainly fucking badass, that's not all that there is to him. It's simply wrong to think he's one dimensional and bland. And I don't mean this from a biased standpoint. From multiple well crafted moments and scenes from the game, you see the gift that is Arthur Morgan slowly unwrap and unravel to show what's really inside. A broken man with a broken heart. Arthur never really had much, and as much as he took, he never had enough to fulfill him. Money is vain, mortality is lame, but to him, it's all about the thrill of the game. Thrill, laughter, and a family to stand with. His gang would always have his back at any turn. Each character plays a pivotal role in the tale of Red Dead Redemption 2, no matter how small they are. You have Dutch, the compassionate and charismatic leader whose only limit was his mind. Hosea, the level-headed voice of the group to calm the storm that is Dutch Vanderlyn. And Sadie. We all know Sadie, the spark of the group. The fire that, if not controlled, will burn everything down with them. This already is a clear, distinct dynamic with fleshed out characters and an interesting concept. Now, what if I told you that I barely even scratched the surface of the game? What if there was 20 other exceedingly well written and unique characters along with it? I mean, seriously, you could write a novel of each and every one of these characters and they'd all be equally as captivating. But I'm getting sidetracked. The story isn't about them, and it's about Arthur, and the slow decline of himself and the one thing he has. The one thing that he can call his own. The gang. And the gang was surely to fall. Q Act 4, widely considered where the gang began to drop heavily and morale and tensions began to start rising. Between the law and interpersonal struggles amongst one another, people were understandably gradually becoming at odds with each other. Friends started to drop, desperation grew bigger, and the gang was sinking with no hope of buoyancy. And I think this is where Red Dead really starts to set its mark as different than all the other story games out there. Sure, you got God of War, The Walking Dead, Telltale, all those great games, Last of Us, but Red Dead is something different, okay? It has this relatability, this almost like grounded in our time despite being over 200 years ago. And really, it's just insane to me how unique this game is. When the gang began to fall apart in Act 4, it really began to show how in depth this game gets. Between people like Javier, who are torn across between siding with Arthur, siding with Dutch. Who should he side with? Characters like Bill, who have undying loyalty to one allegiance, Dutch Vanderlyn. And you have other characters like Sadie, who always saw between Dutch's false words and knew who she really thought was genuine. Micah. Micah. Speaking of genuine, I should talk about the person who is the opposite of genuine. The definition of ingenuine, if you will. Micah is a master manipulator, and although I hate him, I fucking hate him from the bottom of my heart. I know that he was a really well written character, and everything that he did was smart and calculated. He was the one that tore apart the gang in a way that I've never seen in a video game. It was in a believable, yet still just surprising manner the way he manipulated Dutch Vandalin and slowly split the gang apart from its roots. Micah Bell is a genius character, and I think he's one of the most well written villains in gaming, period, despite being surprisingly underrated in that regard. Now, I could go on and on about the Red Dead story and the ending, but I don't want to completely spoil the ending because I know that it's something special. But what I will say is that the ending was, although you knew it was coming deep down in your heart, nothing could have prepared you for that. But despite Red Dead's perfect story and just the re- nice, satisfying gameplay and just everything about it, between like the maintenance of your items, the little world details, the immersive environment, I have to talk about what's wrong with that. And here's where we get to the fall of Red Dead Redemption 2. The online. We always knew that Rockstar had a unconventional approach to online in their games. You've seen it in Grand Theft Auto. We all saw that whole thing. And although GTA Online still has a thriving multiplayer to this day, it was because of the microtransactions. And they simply couldn't do that in Red Dead Redemption 2. Hence why the fall of Red Dead was so rapid that nobody could have expected it. First, it was just bland on release. There was nothing to offer in Red Dead Redemption 2 online. And granted, that was the beta, but even when they released it out of the beta, there was still nothing. It was bland, it was dead, and there was nothing to get out of it. And then came the first, I'd say, major update for Red Dead, the one that really like sparked some potential in the game. And that was when they added the roles, the trader role, bounty role, and I believe the collector role. Now those ads added some huge variety to the game, some huge diversity, more ways to make money. People are getting hyped for the future of Red Dead Online. Despite not being able to rob things like you should in a cowboy game, they were still excited because it's such a cool concept that they don't have in the market. And if they just capitalized on that, I really think Red Dead Online would be one of the biggest online games out there. I really do, because it was so special and unique to so many people. There wasn't a game out there like it. And then we move on to just the dry patch in Red Dead Online, where GTA Online, it's sort of like predecessor was getting so much more updates than Red Dead Redemption 2 Online. And it just sucked seeing it as an avid Red Dead fan. And I was an avid GTA Online player. I was, not anymore. I think it's a little boring now. I think I've milked everything out of that teat that I could, but it's just Red Dead Redemption 2 was really, really special. And I think if they just capitalized it more, it would have been amazing. But they weren't getting the money they wanted from their microtransactions. They added a second currency. Never gonna work. Gold bars was destined to fail because nobody wants to pay for a second currency that's absurd to earn in the game. I mean, back then, I believe the max you could get like per week was what, point 0.2, point 0.6 gold bars, and you needed 25 for the rolls. It was ridiculous. So there was that dry patch. Then they started adding little bits like the upgraded bounty roll, blah blah blah. The naturalist roll. The naturalist roll breathed up some might in the game once more, but it didn't save it. And then the one thing that people were waiting for. You also had the moonshine roll, but we're just skimming over that because it's that unmemorable. The one thing that people were waiting for, the outlaw role. The opportunity to finally rob things, be an actual cowboy, like the game was supposed to be. The story had it, so why didn't the online have it? Yeah, it was ridiculous. It sounds ridiculous that it took almost, what, 2 years for them to release robbing in an outlaw game? And this was the thing that everybody was waiting for. I remember the servers were getting alive once more. People were excited, and they failed horribly. Although the outlaw role was free, that didn't excuse the horrible content that it added. The missions were bland. You couldn't rob places like in free roam. And they added another currency. They didn't learn from gold bars. No, 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 no. They need to make their little money, aka the capitale, where you just grind and grind the same missions over and over again, the same horribly written missions for some capitale. And you would spend that capitale to get an opportunity at a heist. Now the heists, at least I played a couple. They were decent. They didn't feel insane. Like it didn't feel like the hype that is like in GTA Online when you're getting a heist done with your friends for the first time. But it wasn't horrible. It was all right. But the way to reach them was just so irritating, and nobody enjoyed it because it wasn't what we wanted. We wanted a proper sandbox outlaw game, and we couldn't get that because we're bound to these rules. And that's when Red Dead Redemption 2, I believe, and I think most people can agree on me with, permanently died. And I don't think it's going to come back no matter what they do. Not that they've tried to revive it. It hasn't been getting much updates at all. But they added missions here and there. They just keep putting the double money. But what are you using the double money for? The triple money, double money, what is it for? You're not buying it. It's in case the Red Dead Redemption 2 is probably one of my favorite games, and it hurts me so much.
I'll find you and make you real sorry.
I would never imagine it would have fell off on release. When I first played Red Dead Redemption 2, I remember thinking that this was going to be it. This game is going to change it. It's going to revolutionize the whole market. And it did its story. It did what it accomplished. It set out to accomplish. But it failed horribly on the online. And I think if they spent more time on the online rather than GTA, Red Dead Redemption 2 would have dominated the player market. It would have been insane. It would have just been the Giga Chad amongst online games, and it failed. And that's why I think Red Dead Redemption 2 online deserves to die. Sure, it has some players, the casuals, the hardcore players, new players. I mean, they did a smart move releasing the online by itself, but they still didn't support it after that. That could have revived it as well. I'm just now realizing that. I'm so irritated. I'm going off script here, but it's maddening. You think anybody with a fraction of a mind, they got one brain cell dinging around their skulls like a DVD screensaver, they never try to escape their boundaries with Red Dead Redemption Online. It deserved to die. Just so that Rockstar knows that they can't pull this bullshit in the future. Whether it's Red Dead Redemption 3, Bully 2, GTA 6, whatever, they need to know that they can't pull this with the online. And unfortunately, with the story director leaving the Rockstar company, the one that wrote the GTA story, Red Dead, and I'm sure there's more, I just haven't looked into it as much. It looks dreadful in the future. And I think GTA 6 is going to be the last, quote-unquote, Rockstar game we're going to get that we know. The Rockstar that we know. Because so far, it's looking like EA, slowly but surely, it's getting corrupted. And it sucks. It really does. I'm sure you all can agree with me on that. Anybody who's played Red Dead Online. Anyways, with that off my chest, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you for checking out my channel. I'm going to be releasing another video about Battlefield 2042 and the current state it's in. If you're interested in that, be sure to subscribe, turn on your notifications, and keep a lookout for that. I appreciate you guys for watching. I'm a small channel. I'm not trying to be groundbreaking here. I just want to get a little community to sort of talk to, grounded and all that. I respond to all my comments, so If you have any sort of leads you want me to talk about, any sort of games, whatever you want to talk to me about, I'll do my research and I'll look into it. I'm releasing some more gameplay of the Terraria Calamity mod, which I'm having a blast with, by the way. I'm on the Moon Lord stage, so you guys are going to be seeing a lot more content as I get into the main entree of Calamity. Regardless, like I said, thank you guys for watching. I'll see y'all next time. Love y'all.